Mild spoilers ahead, with greater spoilers deeper into the video. It's for easily obtainable lore for a 3-star operator, but still. On the many battlefields that pharmaceutical group Rhodes Island often finds itself on, a variety of elite operators establish absolute control, making the battlefield their domain and ensuring that victory is secured, sometimes almost single-handedly, and often snatched right from the jaws of defeat. But they're not everything. Behind every great operator is a great team, and Rhodes Island has no shortage of important teams, each one acting as the foundation of the organization those elite operators fight for. One such team, acting as a reserve fire team, is Rhodes Island Operations Reserve Team A6. But because that's quite the mouthful, everyone simply refers to them as Op Reserve A6. Made up of a variety of operators from primarily civilian backgrounds, one Hyena, the team's defense specialist, stands out as the only one on the team with actual military history. But it's not like you could tell that by looking at him. Good evening, I'm Weasley, and today, in the third Arknights Operator Spotlight, we're going to be covering an easily obtainable, buildable, and often overlooked operator hailing from Op Reserve A6, the abrasive Reba Otaku, Spot. On the outside, Spot doesn't exactly come off as the ideal teammate for any team. He's either being brutally direct or not talking. He's notoriously lazy, and he has virtually no interests other than comics and fashion. But one thing a lot of other operators don't take into account, likely due to a lack of knowing, is that Spot is merely a product of the life he's lived. Originally a soldier from the country of Sargon, Spot's a member of a Sargonian military family, and quite a strict one at that. Though these families are often known for their strict, stoic demeanors and low tolerance for laziness, that wasn't a demeanor that Spot liked being around. Constantly living under the pressure of his family's wishes, Spot became aggressive and withdrawn, with this pressure eventually reaching a boiling point with Spot's exodus from Sargon, as he ran away from his harsh military family. Eventually, he found his way to Rhodes Island, seeking employment, and after passing examinations, was happily welcomed aboard. Though he's a bit of an odd man out, even on the team of misfits that is Op Reserve A6, he has still made a name for himself as quite the competent defender, bringing a good bit of experience to his position. With a cell originium assimilation of 3%, Spot's confirmed to be infected, with his infection spreading regularly at a constant rate. Though observation and treatment are definitely required, he's not in any immediate danger, especially not compared to some other operators. This good boy's going to be sticking around for a while. I've helped a handful of players get into Arknights, and one thing that I've seen time and time again, and did myself, is the new player pulling some high-rarity units on the newcomer banner, and immediately putting the game's low-rarity units on the sidelines. Personally, I think this is an absolute mistake, as each and every operator in the game brings something unique to the table, Spot included. He won't set the world on fire, no, but he'll sure as hell make the early game a lot easier if you use him properly. Spot's archetype is that of a 3-star Guardian Defender, providing healing and support utility to his team at the cost of possessing a bit lower of a defense rating than some other Defender archetypes. Though it may seem, at first, that he also blocks less, this oddity disappears once he's promoted to E1. With his rarity, however, a question does deserve to be raised, even in spite of what I said. How well does Spot perform his job? I said that I think it's a mistake to discount low-rarity operators when high-rarity operators exist, and I'll take that opinion to the grave. I'd like to open this overview segment by saying that Spot is not as bad as some people would have you believe. Game press. Something in my throat. Is he incredible? No. Is he great? Depends on who you ask. I think he's really good, but I wouldn't call him great. Is he good? Yes, absolutely. He gets the job done and more when used correctly, and is actually one hell of a powerhouse for his rarity when it comes to what he can accomplish on a team. As a 3-star operator, Spot's level, and stat ceiling, maxes out at E1 level 55, at which he gains a boost to his talent effectiveness. Though this is something to keep in mind, Spot's low rarity is also one of his strong points, as it means every doctor, in time, will have a max potential Spot whether they want one or not. On a side note, I'd like to point out that this wasn't always the case. I remember when Spot was only available in headhunting. Bad times, bad times. As always, please note that for this section, skill level 7 is assumed. Also note that I won't mention mastery here, as, well, I can't exactly grade what doesn't exist. Though he possesses only one skill, the simplicity of his niche is one of Spot's biggest strengths. Spot is here to keep your team alive. Spot's first and only skill, Secondary Healing Mode, is a skill that I often see discounted in favor of something like Gummy's S1. The truth is, I don't think it's a matter of Spot S1 being better or worse, but it offering something different. With an SP cost of 40 and an initial SP of 25 on deployment, Secondary Healing Mode causes Spot to, for the next 25 seconds, convert entirely to healing allied operators within a 3x3 area centered upon himself. Gaining an additional 45% attack, he ceases attacking with each action, instead targeting an ally and healing them for an amount dependent on his attack value. With Spot's attack interval causing him to act every 1.2 seconds, this means that he'll theoretically heal a total of 20 times within his skill's duration, provided there's always someone that needs healing. Hey, Editing Room Weasley here. Just wanted to bring up that the information I just stated is actually incorrect. It's not stated anywhere in-game, but Spot S1 actually increases his attack interval to 2.5 instead of 1.2. This means that he ends up healing 10 times over his skill's duration instead of 20. It's pretty substantial, so I decided to make the correction, and it's reflected on the slide. Alright, moving on. Also worth noting that he can heal himself with this skill, allowing Spot to function surprisingly well when it comes to baiting attacks or stalling out stronger enemies, such as in this guiding ahead clip that actually is from my EMEA video. Directly feeding into Spot's skill is his talent, Smoke Installation. With this talent, Spot will provide 20% physical dodge, 25% at max level and potential, to every unit that he heals, meaning that they have a chance to ignore the damage and effects of a given attack, provided RNG is on your side, of course. It's not something to rely upon, but it definitely has some certifiable shenanigan potential with the results that can occur. Nothing like giving 12F a whopping 75% physical dodge, am I right? Spot, as a support-oriented Guardian Defender, kind of synergizes with everyone. He's best used to hold areas where healing is needed, but not to the extent that a medic is required, such as off lanes or to bait an attack or two before popping his skill and healing. As such, his synergy lies in the fact that he's able to, rather fittingly for his rarity and backstory, act as a foundation for other strats to be built upon. He's also a great integrated strategies pick as a hope-free option of providing a bit of healing and 3-block to your team. I suppose it's worth mentioning, though, that you could always use him to add dodge to another operator through his talent. Ironically, this actually gets harder the higher an operator's dodge is, as he needs to actually heal the operator to provide the dodge buff. Though chances are, Flametail doesn't need that extra dodge anyways. As far as comparison goes, it's not even a contest when it comes to who to compare him to. Every time I see Spot brought up or discussed, the 4-star Gummy is usually not far behind. In addition, because I've made a habit of comparing an operator to 2 others, I'll also be bringing up some competition within his rarity and class, the 3-star Beagle. Gummy is quite often described as, rather bluntly, a better Spot. In a sense, I agree, but I don't think it's as black and white as some folks seem to make it out to be. Gummy's most commonly used skill, her S1, functions differently from Spot's, acting as an occasional single-target heal with stacking charges at skill level 7. With this skill, I think an important thing to consider is the distinction between Burst and Sustain, with Gummy falling into the latter while Spot falls into the former. Spot provides a lot more healing than Gummy all at once, while Gummy is constantly providing a bit of healing. I'm not going to lie and say that's not a point in Gummy's favor because, well, it is. The truth is, burst healing isn't often needed from a Guardian defender outside of stalling, and that, for the niche of holding an offlane without medic assistance, Gummy does her job better. Still, one spot where Gummy loses in this debate is utility, in that she doesn't really have any, save for a chance at stunning her opponent and dealing a bit of extra damage. Spot's talent granting dodge is RNG focused, yes, and won't often make or break a clear, and it shouldn't. If it does, you might want to reconsider your strategy. But it's there. Overall, when it comes to picking the right Guardian defender for the job, if you need sustained healing, and you usually will, Gummy is the better pick. But in those occasions where you need a bit of something extra or burst healing, consider Spot. Beagle is a lot more favorable of a matchup for Spot. Offering higher HP and defense, as well as block 3 even at E0 I guess, Beagle definitely serves as a tank rather than a support. Something to consider, however, is that Beagle is about as stat-stick as a defender, even a protector defender, can get, offering nothing beyond her stats. She can't heal, she can't offer dodge, nothing. Her talent and skill literally just give her extra, but admittedly still respectable, defense. If you need the stat stick, then sure, Beagle's a pure and simple option that will cheaply get the job done. But in most cases, Spot will play to the team a good bit better. Though only a couple steps above your average NEAT, Spot still manages to offer a good bit to the team even with his rarity. He will never, ever be meta-defining or anything close, though honestly he's a really powerful low-cost pick in IS2. But he'll do what Op Reserve A6 is meant to do. Provide a solid, no-frills backbone for teams to be built upon. Just bear in mind that he's perfectly comfortable with his low, 3-star growth ceiling, and that you'll be better off with higher rarity, higher ceiling picks for more advanced content. Oh, Spot also canonically handcrafts Gashapon capsule toys for a machine run by his team. It, doesn't impact his review, but come on, you know it does. Hey, thanks for watching. I decided I'd do a more mellow, low-rarity review as opposed to the 5-star ones that I've done so far. These aren't necessarily operators that'll knock anyone's socks off, but I could have progressed much faster by learning to appreciate low-rarity ops sooner, and I hope I'm conveying that message clearly. I don't plan on constantly doing low-rarity reviews, of course. I mean, come on. It's way more fun to watch an op single-handedly annihilate half a stage than it is to watch one provide a sturdy backbone. But I do want to throw these in with some higher rarity ones every now and then to show that not every good pick has 6 stars to their name. I'd like to thank my kick-ass script reviewers, as well as my viewers for helping me rationalize, just by existing, that, yes, silly reviews for a silly gacha game are something that people want to see. As always, a massive thank you to Isaac Wolf for the tracks he produces, and also a thank you to my family for watching my videos. Yeah, that still feels weird, but it means a lot to me, so thanks guys. Next up, expect a bit more noteworthy 4-star pick with a certain clueless royal detective that just cannot find that damn penguin. This is Weasley, signing off. Here's to more, eh?